Back Look Cinema, the podcast.
Hello, friends. It's me again. It's your boy, Zoe Richardson, coming at you once again from Back Look Cinema, the podcast, where we take a look back at the movies of yesteryear. Except for this episode, this is going to be a bonus episode 30, and it's a bonus episode because I got a chance to watch a brand new movie today, a movie that just opened today. So this is not a movie of yesteryear. This is a movie from today. And it's the type of movie that I normally do a bonus episode on. It's going to be something to do with fantasy or magic, or in this case, superheroes. And we have a superhero on Valentine's Day, and his name is Captain America. So I want to share with you my impressions on Captain America, Brave New World. I don't like to call them reviews, but this is essentially what it is. And obviously I'm going in there with much trepidation because there have been rumors upon rumors of wars and rewrites and things of that nature. And there have been like a massive amount of reshoots. So, you get a little bit of a trepidation going in there. It's like, what is this movie going to look like? And I've heard some of the early reviews, and some of the earlier reviews that I heard they were very encouraging. And also especially from reviewers that I trust. I normally take a look at the early impressions of reviewers that I like to look at, like Fantastic Frankie or E-Man, and they have been rather positive. And I think that the consensus of what most people are saying about the movie is that it's safe, and I'll have to concur with that. It feels like a safe movie. They don't make any grand storytelling challenges, or any huge shockers or gigantic twists, or not heart-stopping aw shucks moments, I guess. You almost to say, I mean, I would not put it as like a run-of-the-mill superhero movie because it was very entertaining, but it doesn't go for the jugular, I guess. So Captain America, Strange New World, it has a lot of fantastic actors in there. It was the acting really, in my opinion, really carries this movie. So I just want to go over some of the people that were in the movie. So this movie was actually directed by a person that I have never heard of. His name is Julius Onah, and the only other thing that I know that I know from him that he directed is the something paradox, the Cloverfield paradox, and I didn't see it, but I've seen original Cloverfield movies, and I understand that these movies are all connected together. But and I've heard that it's a decent movie, and I also noticed that most of his movies are, at least on IMDb, is like a 5 point something or a 6 point something. It's they're you would say that they're kind of mid. Even this movie, Captain America: Brave New World, is rated at about a 6.0. And there, as you can see, there are only 3 writers in this movie: Robert Edwards, Malcolm Spellman, and Dalen Motion. So not the army of writers, but not all writers get credited. So in this movie was Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson / Captain America. As usual, he does a fantastic job. He seems like the type of guy that can kind of get along with everybody. He'll even try to get along with somebody that he generally does not get along with. You have Harrison Ford as President Thaddeus Ross, and he's really putting in a good performance, a very believable performance. And there was one moment that he was in the film that I had laughed out loud, probably in an inappropriate moment, probably wasn't meant to be all that funny, but I laughed out loud just based on what he looked like. You'll see what I'm talking about. Then there's Danny Ramirez. He plays Jacqueline Torres, and he's extremely charming. Sarah Haas as Ruth Bath Seraph. I'm sorry, Sarah Haas, played by Ruth Bath Seraph. That's how you say that. Carl Lumbly, fantastic as always as Isaiah Bradley. Tim Blake Nelson as Samuel Stern. He makes his return from all the way back from his first appearance in, I guess is the first appearance in a Marvel movie from The Incredible Hulk. And it's like, so they're really tying that movie back into this movie, bringing him along. And he plays Samuel Stern, but he's the leader. They don't call him the leader in the film. That's not really a spoiler. They rarely call, I shouldn't say rarely. They don't always call the character by their character name in Marvel movies. Also, we have Carl Lumbly. He plays Isaiah Bradley. And, that is, I said that already. Dang, scratch that out. I meant to say Giancarlo Esposito as, Sidewinder. And he's always great. He's always, great in what he does. Is a newcomer to me, Sosha Walk Roquemore. Lots of letters. I don't know how to pronounce those letters the way that they're arranged, but she's playing a character named Layla Taylor. And then there's Johannes Hawkor Johannesson, and he plays Copperhead. And you'll know him when you see him. It's like, at first, when I looked at him, it's like, who is this guy? And then I realized, oh yeah, he plays that character. I know who this guy is. So that kind of rounds out the cast. And well, there are more people, and they all do pretty good. So one of the things that this reminds me of, everybody was saying that it's going to be reminiscent of Captain America Winter Soldier. I could not get the words out because of the espionage and the conspiracy elements that are in that movie. They kind of make a return in this movie, and I just like the story. I like the way that the way it was put together. Like, the thing that I was most afraid of, where they was going to have a story, and they were going to try to do a bunch of twists and turns, and then there is going to be a bunch of, what do you call those things? There were going to be a bunch of plot holes or story elements that didn't make sense, that didn't match together. And I don't catch every plot hole. I don't catch everything in the story that don't make sense. I'm pretty thick when it comes to that. So if I catch it, that means it's pretty bad. But there weren't anything that I caught. Maybe on subsequent viewings, I might catch something, but I didn't catch any story elements that didn't make any sense. Everything seemed to be well put together. There were some nice little surprises. There were some nice things where they set up something in the earlier part of the film, and it pays off in the latter part of the film. Some of it was very obvious, which was going to happen, and then some of it was a little bit of a surprise. So that was and then even the climax was a little bit of a surprise. Now, to be totally honest with you, the climax was not as climaxy as that I'm used to in any action movie. So it felt like a minor climax instead of a major climax that you would expect at the end of the film. But that being said, it still works pretty well. And I think that had the story not been strong enough, and had the actors not been on their game, then it would have been very disappointing. But it works pretty well. It all works pretty well together. It's a fairly decent MCU movie. Should you run out to the theater and watch it? I don't know. All I can tell you is that I really enjoyed it, but I'm not sure. There are some people that says that it's something that where they could wait for it to come on television, and that is kind of a shame that movies come on television so quickly that it's not a matter of months or years. Like when I was growing up and VHS tapes were first coming out, it took years for a movie to go from the movie theater to go on television. Sometimes they would play a movie in theaters multiple times. They would have multiple releases before they finally decide to bring it on home video. And then with, as time went on, it kind of shrunk down to like 6 months. But now it's like almost instantly. It's like you can actually, if you do a little bit of jailbreaking, you can watch it at home now. But the movies tend to be officially released like 3 weeks after they're officially released on home television like 3 weeks after the movie premieres in theaters, and it's released, so you have to pay for it to watch it at home. But it's still cheaper to pay like $20 to watch it at home than to go to a movie theater and pay however much it costs, depending on how many people you bring. So there's that. But I like seeing the things that I saw in the theater. It was a joy seeing it in a movie theater. I like seeing it on the big screen because this movie looks big. It looks like they spent some money. It looks like you're there. Like it. So if I have any recommendation, I would say that because the movie looks as big as it does, I go and watch it in a theater. That's unless you have a theater sized television. I watched it on a very large screen, and it felt large and expansive. So those are my impressions of the movie. Hopefully, I didn't say anything that was spoilery. I don't think I did. It had a lot of things that I liked. It had a story that made sense. It had great action sequences. It had great dialogue, and it didn't really have any major flaws. Only to say that, like I said, the climax, maybe the climax probably wasn't as high impact as you might expect, but at the same time, it didn't get into like a confusing CGI mess that is a trap that some of these movies tend to fall into. So it's not that. So I am grateful for that. Maybe that's one of the things that they meant when they said that this movie is safe. It can mean so many things. But those are my impressions of Captain America: Brave New World. Yeah, go check it out in the theater. I'm gonna say it. Go check it out in the theater. I think that I enjoyed it. I'm glad I saw it in the theater. I'll put it that way. I'm glad I saw it in the theater, and that I didn't wait. Who am I fooling? I wasn't going to wait for this movie. So that's it. So if you get a chance, so I'm putting this bonus episode out in lieu of a regular episode. So I'm supposed to do an episode for Waterworld, but it's going to take a lot of work to put Waterworld out. So instead, I'm going to put this episode out, and then I'm going to put out Waterworld later this week. So at least I have something out there, something that you can kind of to tide you over until Waterworld. And hopefully Waterworld won't come out on Monday, because then that would mean that this isn't a bonus episode. This is just a regular episode. It's taking the place of a regular episode, or whatever. Anyway, that's all I have for right now. I hope you have a wonderful day today. This is going to be after Valentine's Day when you see it, and I hope you have a wonderful time at the movies for whatever movie that you choose to see. Have a nice one. Oh, wait, before I go, the normal things. Click like and subscribe. Check out some other videos. Is there anything else I can say? Nope. That's the usual stuff that you're supposed to say when you do one of these videos. Have a nice one.